Hey everybody, Jake here. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Movie Smoothie. Today we are doing just a big ol' nasty MCU update coming from San Diego Comic-Con, where we just got a ridiculous amount of news. Today we'll mostly be focusing on the two new Avengers films, actually, but we also have a few other crazy little Marvel updates we can talk about regarding Phase 5 and Phase 6. Now, before we get into that, of course, if you guys could like this video and subscribe to Movie Smoothie, I would greatly appreciate that. So, since the climactic wrap-up of 2019's Avengers Endgame, which closed a chapter of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the MCU, known as the Infinity Saga, and grossed almost $2.8 billion worldwide, which is just insane, Marvel Studios has focused on introducing new heroes and pushing ahead with sequels starring some of its top characters. Now, for the majority of Phase 4, I feel like it's been pretty hit or miss, at least for me. Like, Shang-Chi was a massive hit for me. I really loved that film. I liked that it was like just something massively different, focused on martial arts a little more, and then kind of ended in your typical Marvel fashion, which that was kind of like a letdown at the ending, but I still had a really fun time with the movie regardless. I loved Multiverse of Madness, and especially No Way Home was definitely one of my all-time favorite Marvel movies. That was awesome. Phase 4 has had its misses, though. Like Eternals, I just personally didn't care for. I know some people felt it was pretty boring. The new Thor movie, I think, is abysmal. Like, no, I love Taika Waititi, but man, that movie just was a massive miss for me, unfortunately. But revealed by Kevin Feige at Marvel's Saturday presentation at San Diego Comic-Con, the Avengers are assembling once again with back-to-back movies set for 2025. Now, this is pretty nuts. I think a lot of us have been waiting for an update on when the next Avengers film is coming. What is it going to look like? Like, who's going to be, what heroes are going to be in this? We have a lot of different heroes now being introduced into the MCU, many who have either passed away or gone. Should I say spoiler alert for Iron Man is dead? I feel like that's everyone. I feel like even if you've never watched a Marvel movie before, you know that Iron Man is dead at this point, just because of how big these movies are. And while there are many other movies that will hit before then, because those don't come out till 2025, we're going to get into that in a second, the studio is already moving ahead creatively with at least one of the superhero super team tentpoles. Now, we already have a director for the first one that comes out in 2025 called Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. This will be directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, who, if you remember, I was talking about Shang-Chi earlier. This is the director who helmed last year's Marvel's big hit. And THR exclusively revealed this to us, which is pretty exciting stuff. Cretton is already well ensconced in the Marvel family. In addition to directing Shang-Chi, which grossed almost $500 million worldwide, he has an overall deal with Marvel that he signed in the wake of Shang-Chi's success. As part of that, he is developing with Andrew Guest, a writer-producer on comedies such as Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Community, two of my all-time favorite comedies, by the way, a live-action series featuring Wonder Man that he will executive produce and possibly direct an episode or more of. He also has a Shang-Chi sequel in the works, which all of that news is just so exciting to me. Andrew Guest, who worked on Brooklyn Nine-Nine and Community, that's super exciting for me. I would love to throw in a little more comedy into the MCU lately, which has gotten very serious and very overcomplicated in my opinion, where I feel like they need to take a step back and really focus on what their audience wants more than anything. This is nice. This is good to hear. I want to get more into the Marvel shows. They just haven't been all that appealing to me. I heard some things about Moon Knight that are just so different from the comics, and it just sounds like they really didn't write that character correctly. Once again, I'm speaking from not watching the show, though, so I do need to actually watch that one. I'm a little behind on the shows. Your boy hasn't had a whole lot of time. I'm making an entire 90-minute movie right now, which it's very difficult, and also trying to run 3 YouTube channels. So my time, I don't even know what sleep is anymore, basically. But this is very exciting stuff. I'm super pumped for this. I think he's a great choice for Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. We don't have a clear director for the other one, though, which is called Avengers Secret Wars, which, if you know anything about the comics, this is very clearly where they're going with all of the new phases. A big wrap up with Secret Wars, which will hit November 7th of 2025, and the Kang Dynasty movie will hit the same year, a little earlier, May 2nd of 2025. This is all very exciting stuff. Who's going to direct Secret Wars, though, I think is kind of the big question. Now, the Russo brothers, I think, are my #1 choice personally. I think they killed it with Endgame and Infinity War, which are easily the cream of the crop when it comes to the MCU. Some of the best movies of this entire little universe. I say little, but it's like the biggest thing to ever happen in film. But I would love for them to do that. I know a lot of people have said that Ryan Coogler would also do a great job at this, which I can't argue with that either. I just know that the Russo brothers killed it with their 2 movies that they did in this, which, like I said, easily my top 2 favorites from all of the MCU. So if they decide to bring them back on board, I'm totally down for that. They're also from Cleveland, my hometown. So, gotta support my Cleveland boys. Ryan Coogler also would be a great choice. I love his work on Black Panther, and now with the upcoming Black Panther Wakanda Forever. Very excited for that. Your boy did not have time to do a video on the trailer that came out recently, but if you have not checked that out, do be checking it out. It is also unclear who is going to be writing the Kang Dynasty movie, or what heroes would even make up the team's roster for a story that helps close out Phase 6. But Kang is being played by Jonathan Majors, and he was introduced, if you remember, in the Disney Plus series Loki. Kang, or a version of him, will be reintroduced in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, which is due February 17th of 2023, so we're not too far away from that one. This is very exciting too, because the guy who, Jonathan Majors, who plays Kang, also had some really interesting things to say about him. Basically saying that there's going to be multiple of him, and that we don't know which one it's going to be in this new film. Whatever that could mean, I'm very excited for it. I'm sure they're going to be playing off the whole multiverse thing. Of course, because that's kind of what this whole phase has been about, just the introduction of the multiverse. We got that in No Way Home, we got that in Multiverse of Madness. I mean, there it is right in the title. But just so, a little update on Phase 4 though, we will be wrapping that up in November with the new Black Panther movie, like I was saying, and has been slowly hiring directors. Marvel has been slowly hiring directors for its next batch of movies that will comprise Phase 5 and Phase 6. Marvel has also confirmed with THR that Bassam Tariq is directing Blade, scheduled for a November 3rd, 2023 release. Julius Ona is directing Captain America: New World Order, which will star Anthony Mackie as Captain America. Very excited for that, because I really liked Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I was a big fan of that one. That movie, the new Captain America, comes out May 3rd, 2024, and Jake Schreier is directing Thunderbolts, which will close out Phase 5, and that release date is going to be July 26th of 2024. So we have a lot of movies coming out soon. It's all very exciting stuff. I can't wait to check all these things out. A lot of new stuff too, a lot of new characters coming into the MCU. Once again, big old question mark as to who is going to be filling out the roster for the Avengers movie this time around. Is it going to be everybody, like everybody from the shows, everybody from the movies? That's going to be a pretty insane story to write, and something that I would argue is maybe even more ambitious than Infinity War and Endgame. But once again, this article kind of goes on to talk about the Russo brothers, who are like definitely my first pick for doing these new Avengers movies, but it would work if you got a new director to do these next 2 ones. So like if you wanted to have Creighton do these next 2 movies, I'm kind of okay with that. They're back to back though, so like that would be kind of tough to be doing both movies at the same time. So I think it's more likely that we get 2 directors doing both of these films. Because if you remember, the first 2 Avengers movies were helmed by Joss Whedon. I never know how to pronounce that. I'll be totally honest. But then the latter 2 movies, which I think are just vastly superior, were directed by Joe and Anthony Russo. So I would love for, like I said, I would love for them to do Secret Wars, but I am also not against getting Ryan Coogler on there as well. I think he's a great director. We'll just have to see though, man. I mean, it's really exciting stuff regardless. I cannot wait to see what they do with this. My one worry though is that I hope that Phase 4 isn't a tone setter for everything to come, because like I said earlier in this video, I feel like Phase 4, has been pretty hit or miss. So my hopes with Phase 5 and Phase 6 is that Phase 4 was kind of like exposition for the multiverse and just really trying to over-explain things, because that's kind of how it feels. It feels a little like, oh, we got to over-explain what the multiverse is to a bunch of nerds. Like, listen, as a fellow nerd, I seriously don't think we need to explain what the multiverse is. They've done an okay job at it. Actually, they've overdone their job, and I feel like they can chill out on all that. Give us something you can relax. Give us a good movie again. Is something I'm hoping for with Phase 5. Regardless, though, I'm super excited. What do you guys think about Phase 5 and 6 with all these announcements? Leave me something about it in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video on Movie Smoothie. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more content on any kind of movies you might want to hear about, or any kind of news coming your way. Also, if you want to subscribe to my other channels, I do a horror channel called Killjoy Jake, horror movie updates. You're going to love that page. Make sure to subscribe there. And also my sports page, Half Baked Media, which is run by my buddy Jackson. Thank you guys for watching again, and make sure to enjoy a smoothie with your movie.